Amazing, beautiful people, how you doing? And welcome back to another first time reaction video. So, if you want to know the story behind why we are doing this reaction today and why it seems so freaking random, well, over on Twitch, we recently started live streaming our reactions to Haikyuu. Now, we're kind of readjusting the scheduling and that sort of stuff over on Twitch, but you might have noticed that the reactions to Haikyuu have been going out on G.O.T Extra. And if you have been watching my reactions, you may have noticed one thing. I absolutely love it. Haikyuu has potential to be my #1 favorite anime. It is absolutely awesome. And I didn't know anything about volleyball before watching that anime, and already I want to learn. It is an incredible anime. It is so well done, and I've just been completely sucked into it. And a bunch of people saying, Luke, you should check out a bunch of real life volleyball videos and real life volleyball situations. And I was like, okay, well, what's a good place for me to start? If I want to check out like real volleyball clips, like real ones, where do I begin? This video keeps getting recommended. It's by a channel called The Kill Zone. It came out about 8 months ago, and it is called The Japanese Player That Broke Volleyball. I have no idea what this is going to be about, but I have heard that there is like a famous volleyball player, a Yuji something, that everyone has been telling me I need to react to stuff from of. And then people are asking me to react to like high school stuff and college stuff and all sorts of different clips. But this is where I've been told to start. So, it's a bit of a test for me. I don't know how this video is going to perform. I've never done a reaction like this before. So I'll leave it up to all of you guys. If you would like more reactions like this, if you would like me to jump down the volleyball rabbit hole, then let me know. Support this video. Please like, please subscribe, and leave all your recommendations in that comment section. And I'll see which stuff you guys are demanding the most down there. And if people want more, I'm happy to do more. But for now, shout out The Kill Zone, like and subscribe, and let's jump into my first time ever reaction to the Japanese player that broke volleyball.
Decades, Japanese volleyball struggled to hold international attention, overshadowed by towering competition from Europe and the Americas. Then came Yuji Nishida, an athlete that didn't even meet volleyball height standards, an underdog with no reputation but
oh my god
for an arm and a monster vertical. Suddenly, stadiums filled, social media buzzed, young players felt seen for the first time. Watch closely as we are about to unravel the story.
So you're telling me Haikyuu is a true story?
One of, if not the most well-known volleyball player in modern day history. And to do that, you have to start at the beginning.
I'm so excited for this. Oh my god, I'm already hooked.
Everything started in Inabe, Mie Prefecture, a quiet city without elite volleyball systems or the resources of Japan's sporting capitals. Volleyball wasn't just an afterthought in his family, it was a part of life. All his siblings played, and as the youngest, Nishida slipped into the sports almost by default. He officially started playing volleyball at the age of 5, and that early exposure built a sense of belonging. What began as a routine soon became something else. By elementary school, Nishida was already making noise.
I already love how this video has been put together. It feels like a documentary, like professionally made. I'm already immersed, invested. We've gone all the way back to the beginning of this person's story. I assumed it would start like a professional career, but no, love this. Shout out the creator. They've done an amazing job.
He helped his team win the 29th All-Japan Volleyball Tournament in Mie Prefecture. It was a small stage, but the win mattered. He didn't stand out for his height. He stood out for his instincts. Recognition was slow to follow. In a country where opposite hitters often top 1.9 meters, Nishida's growth curve looked average at best. Scouts overlooked him. In their eyes, volleyball at the highest level was a game for the tall, the physically gifted, the ones who fit the mold. Nishida didn't. But those judgments didn't sit with Nishida. He had his own inspiration, a left-handed powerhouse by the name of Kunihiro Shimizu. Shimizu was a 2-time Olympian for 2008 and 2012, a multi-time V-League champion with Panasonic Panthers, and a former best
I'm guessing V-League is Volleyball League. I'm guessing.
Score at the Asian Championship. He also served as Japan's national team captain and was their primary opposite for nearly a decade. Watching Shimizu dominate as an opposite hitter for Japan's top teams planted a seed in Nishida. He didn't see himself as the odd one out. He saw a path forward. Shimizu became the model, and for
they explained this in Haikyuu, but I can't remember. Why is it that the God, my brain is gone. The fast-moving one. My brain is gone. I've been learning about volleyball through Haikyuu, but I'll blame my tiredness for this. It begins with I, right? The fast-moving position. Why do they wear a different outfit again?
Nishida, something to chase. The power, the timing, the killer instinct. It wasn't just admiration, it was ambition. If Shimizu could compete on the Olympic stage, why couldn't he? Still, nothing about Nishida's trajectory would come easily. Japan has a prestigious tradition of powerhouse volleyball high schools, schools like Higashi Fukuoka and Seijo, where top talent competes under the best coaches, often going on to national glory. These were the pipelines for elite players, but Nishida didn't follow the crowd. Instead of joining a proven program, he chose Kaisei High School, an underdog school with no history of national titles in volleyball. Most saw this as a risk. Kaisei didn't offer the prestige. Or
This feels so similar to like the story of Haikyuu. Obviously, there's a bunch of differences and that sort of stuff, but it does kind of feel like, I don't know, a little bit similar.
Resources of the big name schools. But for Nishida, it was never about shortcuts or borrowed reputation. He wanted to prove that success could come from anywhere, and that greatness was about work,
which I love.
not prestige. He made every
It's
minute
awesome that
count.
people like this
Alongside
actually exist.
Kaisei, Nishida trained with Verity and Mia, a local under-19 club. He practiced with 3 different teams, chasing as much competition and as many perspectives as possible. By the time he reached the Mia
God, he just
Prefectural
lived
High
and
School
breathed
Championship,
volleyball.
Nishida wasn't just fitting in, he was leading. Under his command, Verity and Mia won the under-19 boys division of the Mia Prefecture Young Volleyball Championship, and then a national title.
This feels like a movie. This dude's life is a movie. There better be a movie about this guy, man. His life is a movie.
As a teenager,
This is
still
so cool.
considered undersized for his position.
How tall was he?
At every level
They never say it.
he could reach. There
was
were no
undersized in the
spotlights
volleyball
small
world.
town gyms. National scouts weren't lining the bleachers.
How high is the
His
net?
edge sharpened in these overlooked places. He studied defenders, read the courts, and built a left-handed swing that turned blockers into bystanders. But the real test was still ahead. At 17, Nishida was about to step into a world where the pace was faster, the hitters taller, pressure relentless. Our protagonist would now enter professional volleyball. Yuji Nishida's first steps into a professional court weren't marked by fanfare. They were marked by uncertainty. On January 6, 2018, he made his V-League debut for the J-Tech Stings against Osaka Blazers Sakai.
It has to be said. The Stings have a really cool freaking like logo. That looks cool. It looks very like American actually. It's a cool looking one. I like it. It looks
The
good.
Stings were known for chasing titles, and Nishida was hardly the prototype of an opposite hitter. He was young, untested, and underestimated. The V-League, notorious for its tactical blocking schemes and veteran lineups, wasn't a place that forgave inexperience. Most expected him to blend in, maybe even struggle. Instead, he put up 26 points in his first match. He was no background player, but the focal
I was so expecting the opposite. I was literally expecting it to be like in his first match, he failed. He struggled a little bit, you know. He was learning the professional circuit, but then he came back. I thought it'd be that. In his first match, bro crushed it.
point of the Stings attack.
26!
Every time he rose above the net, the crowd's expectations shifted. His debut was no fluke, and as the season wore on, Nishida's impact only
Jeez!
grew. He finished his rookie campaign not just as a promising newcomer, but as a force teams had to plan
He's
on.
a
His
monster!
effort earned him the Best New Player award for the 2018-19 V-League season, shared with Issei Otake from the Panasonic Panthers. He also picked up the Best New Player award at the Kurashiki tournament, a nod from another corner of Japanese volleyball that this wasn't a one-off miracle. It was a sign of things to come. There's a moment in every sport when a player's impact moves beyond the box score. With Nishida, it happened fast. His performances became a reference point for what was possible. He was no longer just a promising rookie. He was the player everyone wanted to watch, the one who made every rally feel like it could be history.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
There was no hesitation
This
in
dude's
Nishida's
life is the
arrival on
best.
the international stage.
Like, it's such a
On
cool
May
story.
25th, 2018 in Rouen, France, he pulled on the Japanese national jersey for the first time at the FIVB Volleyball Men's National League.
He's now representing
With no
Japan.
gradual introduction, he was in the starting lineup against Australia. A decision like that signaled something rare. The coaching staff didn't just see potential in Nishida, they believed he could transform Japan's hopes.
I literally feel like I'm watching an episode of a TV show right now. I'm so there. I'm immersed. I'm like, come on, what's he gonna do? I'm there, man.
His impact was immediate, and his performances continued to accelerate. Then came a defining moment in 2019.
Look out!
At just
The
19
jump
years
height
old,
is
Nishida
ridiculous.
played a pivotal role in Japan's FIVB campaign, helping the team to a 4th place finish, the highest in 28 years. Along the way, he became the youngest player to ever drop 30 points in a match at the World Championship. To those who watched,
youngest
it
ever.
felt like he torn up the script of what had been
Not
possible
Japan,
for
ever.
Japanese volleyball in modern history. When Nishida was named the tournament's best opposite, it wasn't just a personal accolade, it was proof of a larger shift, a sign that Japan's volleyball legacy, stagnant for decades on the international stage, could still be revived. But carrying the weight of resurgence came with immense pressure. Japan's history with the sport was storied, but distant, highlighted by an iconic gold medal win at the 1972 Munich Olympics. For years, though, it felt like the country had been watching rather than competing on the world stage. As Nishida climbed higher, media coverage around him intensified. He wasn't just playing for his own growth, he was becoming the symbol of a generation intent on bringing Japan back to global relevance.
This is something I always find curious when it comes to these kind of like sports personalities. When they first start off, they don't have any fame or recognition around them, and they're amazing. And then due to their skill and talent, eventually they get that fame and recognition. And I always wonder what that means for their skill. Does that help? Do they shine in it? Is it something they always predicted would happen or something that they prepared for? Or does it build even more pressure that they can crumble under? I reckon it's probably different for every single person, right? Like that kind of pressure that comes with the fame.
2019 Volleyball Nations League became another showcase. Against Bulgaria, Nishida hammered 7 aces in a single match, setting a serving record. It wasn't merely dominance, it was a technical display that reflected the versatility of his game. In moments when momentum was at risk, Nishida's serves became weapons.
I can't even follow the ball. I see him hit it, and next thing I know, it's there. I can't even see it. It's like it teleports. Look, teleport.
Games in Japan's
you can't even see it.
Then
Where is it?
Tokyo Olympics. The weight of expectation wasn't just national, it was personal. Nishida's Olympic debut presented the rarest kind of moment, representing his country on home soil during an event delayed by a global pandemic. In the men's volleyball tournament, Nishida stood out, becoming the first player in the men's division to surpass 30 points in a single match during the rally scoring era. His 105 total points across the tournament, which is an insane number, is clear proof he could carry his team, even under immense scrutiny. Japan finished 7th, their best Olympic result in 29 years. Nishida wasn't satisfied, but the significance wasn't lost on those who witnessed it. His presence alone had reignited excitement for a sport that had been long seen as secondary to Japan's larger international pursuits.
I love this. I love the idea of a sport just like emerging in a country. Like there's no real love or desire for it. No one really cares. And then all of a sudden, or like not that many people care. And then literally within the space of a couple of years, because some player stands out, has such a strong personality on the court, and has such an immense skill, that an entire nation can just get behind them, see their skill, see their dedication, and just start supporting a sport. I love that.
On the court, Nishida's influence was harder to measure, but impossible
that like
to miss.
never
Social
happens.
media profiles, fan clubs, and even comparisons to fictional characters like Shoi Hinata from the anime Haikyuu linked him to Japan's cultural consciousness.
It's our boy! It's our boy! I said, Hinata! I said, I need to be careful here. I need to be really careful because I don't want any spoilers for Haikyuu. If we get spoilers for Haikyuu, I don't think we will, right? It'd be very surprising. But yeah, man, it does feel like that. It feels like I'm watching a different episode of Haikyuu right now, man. I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna look over here. I don't want to see any spoilers. I'm just gonna listen.
Story. Like Hinata, Nishida was a player who didn't fit the mold, who took his size deficit and turned.
I gotta be careful here. I don't want any spoilers, man. Don't give me any spoilers. All right. I'm gonna cut here. I'm gonna check some things behind the scenes just to make sure nothing gets spoiled, and I'll be right back. Okay? We gotta be careful. I don't want any spoilers for you guys either. All right. So I've just did a load of investigating. There are no spoilers. In fact, it looks like any reference to Haikyuu is literally ends now.
Advantage. To younger players, Nishida became proof
there you
that
go.
volleyball in Japan had a new face, and he didn't have to look like 6'8" towering figures dominating Europe and the Americas. Nishida's presence.
This is the other thing, like I haven't mentioned, like when you have an athlete like this who plays a sport that has been dominated by like different sizes and everything like that. What I'm trying to say is it limits who can do this sport immediately. Like, people won't even try this sport because they don't think they can because they're not the right height. When you have someone like this, they change the entire sport.
Since grew even more. He built a YouTube channel with 500,000 subs that
Oh my
offered
word!
a glimpse behind the scenes. He didn't
I'm subbing to
hide
this
from
guy.
the spotlight. He even used to say that he wanted to share his journey, and people listened. His approachability and honesty set him apart in a sports culture that often kept its stars at a distance. But Nishida never saw himself as just an individual icon. His rise came alongside a supporting cast that was equally determined to change the narrative. Players like Yuki Ishikawa and Run Takahashi formed a trio with Nishida that embodied synergy. They didn't rely
we literally
solely
had the
on isolated
yes.
brilliance. Instead, their combined effort became the foundation of Japan's sharp, fast-paced playing style that left stronger, taller teams scrambling to keep up. The evolution of Japan's volleyball brought stadiums to life. Any match that even mentioned Japan was
Libero. That's the name of the quick moving player. Libero. It doesn't mean it's like that's it, right? Something like that. This is awesome. It's not just him. He's like, again, this is like, oh man, I love it. It's such a story because it's not just him. He gets his team, gets his boys together. They fight together.
Surging in viewership. For the first time in decades, the stands were overflowing with young fans, many there just to see Nishida in action. Each time he leapt into the air for a blistering spike or fired an ace that sent the crowd into chaos. It wasn't just
man, I gotta see some of these games.
It was belief being restored. But every ascent brings new challenges. For Nishida, the next step would take him far from home, into a league where the rules and rhythms were different.
Wow.
Where the obstacles would test him in ways he could have never imagined. But before we get to that,
I was really worried that this was going to be an injury. I thought that's where we were kind of like leaning towards. It was like, yes, well, it always comes with some kind of obstacles or something like that.
Enough talk. Let's get back to it.
And that's when my heart literally just sunk. But no injuries. He's going to a new league. How can he get bigger? He's already like performing in the Olympics. Surely that's the biggest and the hardest, right?
Yuji Nishida's move to Volley Calippo for the 2021-2022 Serie A season marked a new test. On August 9th, 2021, he left Japan and stepped into the heart of Italy's top league, a place where every match demanded more than raw talent. The early days hinted at promise. Even in training, teammates and coaches noticed his speed, his vertical, his ability to find angles and strategize on spot. Italian fans were curious. Could a 21-year-old from Japan deliver against Europe's best?
This sounds bad.
There's belief. But barely weeks into his Serie A campaign, that momentum came to a grinding halt.
No, it's going to be an injury.
In April 2021, during a team scrimmage, Nishida suffered a left ankle sprain. It was the kind of injury that could derail momentum before it even builds. He sat out, watching as his new team adjusted to the demands of the league without him. The timing could not have been any worse. Just as he was learning the rhythm of the Italian game, he was forced to pause. He returned.
He literally barely got a chance to start. He took this whole new journey in his life, this new chapter, and then gets an injury. I hate it when this happens to people. I can't imagine how devastating this is. It's easy to look at him as superhuman because, let's be honest, he seems superhuman, but he is human. Can you imagine how devastating this must be?
Determined to regain form, but in November, a calf injury struck. 2 layoffs, months apart, each one chipping away at his sense of progress. This absolutely crushed him, mentally and physically. But that wasn't the end for him. Because after returning from that ankle injury, Nishida re-entered the lineup, determined to regain his rhythm. But no sooner was he finding that his calf gave out, sidelining him once again. These back-to-back injuries were more than physical hurdles, they were mental trials. Nishida found himself in uncharted territory, far from home, isolated in a country where cultural and language barriers added layers of difficulty to an already grueling situation. His rehabilitation process was slow and methodical. But between the gym sessions and physical therapy, another challenge loomed. Doubt. For once in his life, Nishida couldn't rely on his sheer athleticism or his devastating power. He had to evolve.
The other thing is, we just heard that he had like a team that he was like gelling with and synchronizing with and getting good with, right? He had that team. And now he's like lost that team. He no longer has that team. He's got a new team and he's trying to learn everything with them. That must be so difficult as well. Like all that chemistry that you've built and developed and learned, you now have to start from zero.
The adjustments came incrementally. He focused on timing, adjusting his approach to overcome blockers faster than he ever had. He worked on his angles, refining the deceptive precision that had served him well in Japan. Slowly, the pieces of his game began to mold into something deadly. January 12, 2022. Mostly healthy, Nishida returned to the court and delivered a performance that answered every question about his place in Italy. Against Monza, he scored 29 points. It wasn't just the volume, but the variety. Powerful swings, clever tips, and a serve that was an absolute weapon. In that same stretch, he set a Serie A record with 8 aces in a single match.
Oh, it's so cool.
Story. He could not only compete, but dominate.
The serves are amazing to watch.
Of rehab and recalibration. Who does this?
This guy was literally injured. He was out for the count. The team moved on without him, and he comes back and crushes it. He's an
At the
inspiration.
end of the season, Nishida had rebuilt himself. Physically, he was strong. Tactically, he was sharper.
The guy is a
He earned
legend.
Respect in one of
His life is a movie.
Not through flash, but through persistence and evolution. The injuries that sidelined him had forced him a kind of growth that raw talent alone couldn't even offer. He later returned to Japan in 2022, and that's where the story shifts. Because for Nishida, the next question wasn't about recovery. It was about what it means to define greatness on your own terms, beyond just sport. Over time, Nishida became more than just a player, and it became really solidified when his story took an entirely new dimension. On December 31st, 2022, he married Sarina Koga, captain of Japan's women's national volleyball team.
He married the captain of Japan's women's volleyball. Right. I know I don't usually say things like this, but you're telling me that like the captain of Japan's women's volleyball team married what I'm guessing is the best Japanese volleyball player. These two together? That is the ultimate pair. Can you imagine what kind of kids that they would raise? Like, can you imagine? Oh my word, that's a super family.
The relationship was more than just a headline. These are two athletes at the top of their game.
That's so
navigating
cool.
long distance, packed schedules, and the constant pressure of elite sport. They understood the grind. They shared the setbacks and the small victories.
I love this
For
so
Nishida,
much.
It meant learning to balance ambition with perspective. Knowing that the legacy isn't built in isolation. He became the player others looked up to in tense moments, not because he demanded it, but because he earned it. His presence on the court signaled composure. His teammates trusted his decisions. Opponents respected his unpredictability. The leadership wasn't loud. It was measured, consistent, and rooted in a way that he played the game. He made it clear that greatness could come from anywhere, in any form. And as the sports continued to evolve, Nishida's example stood as a reminder. What matters most isn't where you start, or even how high.
This man literally brought like a resurgence and newfound love for this sport amongst an entire nation. He raised volleyball in Japan on his back, like bringing new eyes to this sport. People like this are utterly incredible and integral to the world.
You jump, but how far you're willing to push the limits of expectation. After Paris 2024, Yuji Nishida shocked fans by announcing he would take a break from the national team to recover from chronic injuries and mental fatigue. His absence left a vacuum, but his comeback was equally telling. In April 2025, newly appointed coach Laurence Tilly included Nishida in the 43-man preliminary squad for VNL, suggesting his role will be carefully managed, with Tiang Ying off weeks and readiness in focus. Looking back, few athletes define an era like he's done. In 2024, he led Japan to its first ever VNL silver, a watershed moment that ended a nearly 50-year drought. And he did it while balancing Olympic prep and club commitments. Nishida's image now embodies modern Japanese sports identity. He is what volleyball needed to bounce back into global relevance, bringing new fans to the sport and igniting a global movement. In fact, my first exposure to volleyball was actually through him. I just happened to see his clips hanging in the air for an absurd amount of time before baptizing the ball in pure violence. I couldn't get enough of his sheer power and jump and finesse.
This guy literally flies. He defies gravity. He flies. He flies. Literally like Haikyuu. He flies. He bloody flies. This guy is superhuman. The air is his home, not the ground.
Nishida Airlines was just peak volleyball for me.
Look at him.
And one of the most
He lives up
satisfying things
there.
to watch.
He might as well just...
I hope the next time we see him
can fly,
on that
man. He's
stage,
pretending he can't.
comes back smashing aces multiple times in a row like he always does when he debuts. He did announce he will be playing in the next Olympics, which is a bit too long for comfort. I don't know where we will see him elsewhere, but I know this. I'll be watching. And if you made it this far, maybe you will be too. Drop your favorite Nishida moments in the comments. Let's talk about it. Because players like this don't come around often. And when they do, they remind you why you fell in love with the game in the first place. Thank you for sticking around till the end. Let me know who you want to do next. Alright, peace out.
The Prince of Japanese Volleyball. Who's that? Who's that? Is that another video we should watch? My heart feels like light after watching this. I feel happy and weird. I can't fully explain it. This video was amazing. I want to say a huge shout out to the channel The Kill Zone. You put together an incredible video here. This was amazing. Now I know who the small giant was. Oh, imagine that's what that's supposed to be. I didn't even think about that. Like, that could be a reference. I feel like Haikyuu definitely has so many references to like a real life volleyball. Maybe that's one of them as well. Again, I'm only on season 1, so I don't know. We'll see what happens later on. I can imagine if we meet these characters going down the Haikyuu rabbit hole that they won't have the same names, but maybe there'll be like references, things that you can kind of draw connections to and from, perhaps. This is wonderful. I love videos like this. The fact that I was literally getting into an anime series, falling in love with it, loving every single freaking second of it, really enjoying it, immersing myself in it, and then we come here, sit down, watch this together, and I just get to see the real life side story or sister brother story of like an anime. I've been watching Haikyuu and I've fallen in love with it, and I didn't expect I ever would. It's my first ever experience at a sports anime, and I was kind of curious how it was going to be done. And it immediately grabbed me, and I just fell in love with it and wanted to explore more of it. And I found myself watching it, wanting to see real volleyball, because so many people are telling me how many connections and things are part of it. And I myself was like, well, I really want to see that. I want to explore this. I want to see it. And well, that's what we did. That's literally what we did. So this one was recommended by all of you. You were like, if I want to see more of real life volleyball, then I should start with Japanese volleyball. That way it's similar, well, literally. And then maybe start with some players and see what happens. And this is the video that kept coming up. And I have to say, it could not have been a more perfect video to introduce me to real life volleyball. Seeing this character, seeing Nishida just have this movie-like story. Just this underdog story, but also not, like coming from like this small town, not really like big in volleyball, but it being massive in your family, and just growing and working and grinding and defeating what was the stereotype in a sport and encouraging a nation to follow it. And on top of that, how many people do you think were inspired to take up volleyball who otherwise might have thought they were too short to play this sport? Like, that would have had such an impact on the youth. So many people who otherwise would have been like looked down upon, quite literally, to play volleyball. Nishida gave them all that hope. It's an awesome story. It's heartwarming and motivational, and I loved every second of it. I immediately just feel like this human is an amazing human. This was awesome. I would love to check out more. So please, if you have more recommendations, please send them my way. I would love to see more. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really love you guys. And I hope you're still enjoying my reactions as much as I'm enjoying making them. That's it from me, my friends. That's it. As always, you will see me in the next video.